Hello everyone, it's Charlene aka Island Girl Diamond Painting Journal. Welcome to my channel today. New subscribers and returning viewers, I'm very glad you're with me. Today is Friday, August 23rd, 2019, and I am currently working on Diamond Art Club's Pretty in Pink. I'm taking a little break because I I have some thoughts. I have had some thoughts for I think over a month now, and I just want to get it out of my head. And usually someone would write stuff down, maybe in a diary, or they would discuss it with someone, but I don't I'm not that close with anyone in particular to talk about stuff. Not in the DP community, neither in my personal life, not really. And this is my journal. It is an online journal for anything that is DP related, and the thoughts that I have in my head is sort of DP related. So I'm just going to utilize my channel and my space to get what is in my head out. You are welcome to listen. You are welcome to skip. It's really no big deal. For me, it's just a lot of observance. I'm seeing some things. There've been a few things played out that I've had questions about, but again, I've not really had anyone to properly discuss and rationalize it with. And that's not to say that this is me asking for someone to do that with. It's just me putting my thoughts down on video rather than on paper. Again, this is a public journal. Let me put a few disclaimers up front. Everything said here, it's just simply my opinion based on my observations. It's not a critique, it's not a judgment. I have no animosity for anyone. I have no ill will against anyone. I have no sides in anything. I am not side X or side Y or team this person or team that person. That's not me. Anyone who knows me would know that's definitely not me. This is my observations about human nature, and I really don't want this to take too long, so I'm just going to try and do this as quickly as I can. It's my observations on human nature. I am an observer by nature. I am a wallflower, yes. I tend to stand back and watch and observe, and I'm very good at it. I pick up on a lot of things that people don't even seem to know that they're doing. I can tell a lot by tone, by the words that people may choose to use and say, by body language. These are all tells and hints into personality and so on. And when you observe someone for a long time, you tend to realize the personality behind the person. So when things change with that person, it's easy to tell when someone is hurt or angry or not quite themselves. It's very easy to pick up. We all do it. We all have that skill in some measure, right? So, and that's all that this is really. Um, let me see. Well, okay. So we've had a few things take place in the diamond painting community recently. Um, I've had my own bump, and that bump, I was not expecting it, and I had to, because I was totally blindsided by it. I had to work through my own thoughts and feelings concerning it, and then there has been other things that take place, which also made me think. So the whole point about my video again is about human nature, and while we all agree that everyone has a right to think, to feel, to voice, etc., my question to me is the right, right? So yeah, everyone has a right, but is that right, or is it creating more harm? Right? Is the right? There's a quote that goes with great power comes great responsibility, and are we responsible for the consequences of what we see and do, even though we have a right to say and do those things? It's just a question born out of thoughts, right? There are consequences to everything we see and do, and we may have a right to vent or to see what we feel, etc., but what about the other person, or what about the other, the backlash to what is done, what is said, etc.? Should we be should we throw caution to the wind and just say what we want without a care and act in that manner because we have the right to? Or do we be mature and do the adult thing and really think about what we want to see before we say it? Right. So these are the thoughts that run through my mind. I am monitoring the time. Okay. So I came into this community because I have been through a lot. I went through a lot in my life, and it's too much to lay it all out now. But I alienated myself, and I wanted to reintegrate myself with people again, and that's why I came in. The craft, I discovered the craft, and the craft was so helpful to me, and I wanted to meet with other people who also enjoyed the craft. And when I came in, it was so wonderful being in here. People were so nice, there was no drama, and I thought, there was no animosity, there was no drama, there was no cliques, there were no sides, there were no anything. So I thought this was a really nice place to be. Everyone had a common thing in that they enjoyed the craft, and they got together and they worked on the craft. And then I had a little incident where a very, very, very popular creator did a video, and she did something on her video. It's a method that she uses for something concerning diamond painting, and I do something similar, and I outlined it in a comment to her that I do something similar, not exactly the way she does hers, but I did something different. But I wasn't insulting, I didn't insult, I didn't put her down for her method. Actually, I said, whatever makes each of us happy, right, and keeps us diamond painting, And I wasn't like everyone else who was going, oh yay, you're so great, oh my god, I'm so astonished by what you did, wow, that's so cool what you did. Yeah, I didn't do that. I just said, okay, that's a method. I do something a little different, and I did it only because I believed that we are here to learn from each other. We share ideas and we learn. So I didn't realize she would get miffed by my comment, and she did express that her irritation, and that's a mild tone in her next video, which took me totally by surprise, because she blasted me. She went on a rant and she blasted me. And I went and I apologized to her, etc. And I explained to her again, I meant no disrespect. And I wasn't putting her down. I was just stating that I have a different opinion in the way that I would do something. And I'm not saying your way is wrong at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that there are many ways to do a single thing. She never said, okay, well, I understand where you're coming from. She never said, okay, forgiven or fine. Nothing like that whatsoever, which made me think, okay, I'm not forgiven. I am still, something, a sore or a thorn in her side, And maybe that's just her way. She's very unforgiving. Maybe that is her way, not to show kindness to another person, or I don't know. That's her way, I guess. So I never really thought. I just decided to be the bigger person and be humble. I apologized and I moved on. And then I did continue watching her videos, although now I'm not going to ever comment on her videos ever again, because for fear that a simple comment or a suggestion is going to mean, I am this big bad wolf blowing down her house, which isn't the case. So I don't ever comment. And then recently I saw she did the same thing again, and this person, in the video she was showing off a purchase that for most people would be pricey, and someone commented that they created, and I read the comment. There's nothing insulting or degrading or anything in the person's comment. All the person basically said was that they created a similar item for a very cheap price. And maybe that's all that person could have afforded. Maybe they can't afford the expensive price to purchase an item. And for those of you who can purchase expensive stuff, that's great. I'm happy for you. But there are many of us who can't afford that, so we utilize whatever is around and we make our own things. This is not a put down. We don't do it to flaunt, okay, you spent all that money and we can get the same thing for a cheaper price. No. We're proud that, we can't afford maybe the best of whatever, but we use ingenuity, we use skill, we use imagination, we create something, and we make ourselves happy with it, and we show off what we can do to encourage others who may not be able to afford stuff, to maybe spark some imagination in them to also create, so that they too could also have something. And this woman went on a rant video and called that other person an asshole. And that person really didn't deserve that. She didn't. And I was like, why is this person so mean? Why is she mean? Why is she so mean? That person meant no offense. All she did was to say, hey, I made a similar thing. It just cost me a couple dollars as opposed to paying that much money. Great if you could afford it. I can't, but I made it. I made it. Why is that a part of human nature? Why? What do people get from that, really? Is that a thing? Is that who we are? I interpreted that as being she's a snob. Maybe there is another word that could describe it. I don't know, but I interpreted it as being a snob. But it also confuses me and disappoints me that she has a huge following, and there are so many thousands and thousands of people who look at her, and she is what I call an influencer. We have a good few of those. An influencer, and you have a responsibility being an influencer. When so many people look at you, they follow you, they look at what you do, and they do the same. A person could show off a product, and a couple hundred people are going to go run off and buy that product. Now, if you keep showing signs of being an uncaring person, someone who lacks understanding, who lacks patience, you are basically, and you celebrate that you are entitled to your opinion, and you can do this and you can do that. You are basically influencing thousands of people into believing the very same thing. Are we going to lose our humanity? Are we going to lose our heart when we take on and we allow these seeds to grow within us? Are we going to lose ourselves trying to emulate people that we look up to? These are just thoughts in my head. It confuses me that she has a complete chair section that totally endorses that sort of behavior, where you can curse someone, criticize, dump on them, make them feel very small, belittle them publicly, and you have a whole cheer section going rah rah rah, go go go, yes yes yes. What is that doing to the other person? Yes, you are empowered by your right to say what you want, to feel what you want. But I'm asking, is there a responsibility attached to that? Recently there was another rant incident, and in that rant, threats were made. Someone was put down in a very, very terrible and public way. No names were given, but there were a lot of hints purposely dropped. And I think, listening to it, I believe the person knew exactly what they were doing. It sounded like an emotional trip, but it seemed too precise to me. And again, it's just my opinion. It wasn't just the emotions talking, there was lashing out. It was as though the person wanted to punish the other person. And was that person justified, whom I will call X? Was X justified? Maybe. But was it right? No, I don't think so. And that's just my opinion. I don't think so. To me, I think it was a little bit childish. working in a school, guys. I work in a school, I see it every day. So it related to me as childish. I thought it was uncalled for. The adult thing would have been to work it out privately and then part ways, if that is what it came down to. And I believe that they did do that. X did say that they worked stuff out and it was done and over with, etc. And I thought, okay, well, good, that's a good resolution, I guess, to whatever it was. The hint dropping in that video made me think about who it could possibly be. I was not sure, but again, it was very, very broad hints. I mean, you'd have to be a little dense not to figure out who it was. And I don't mean any offense by saying that, but again, in my opinion, it was done on purpose for people to, without having to say the name, it was done in a way for people to guess who it was very easily. So and on that video there was some comments, and I was reading the comments. And there were a lot of people going, yes, person is bad, person Y is such a this and such a that and whatever, and they did all of these things to you. And again, I was disappointed in the comments. And again, while it is everyone's right, we heard one side of a story and we're casting judgment. And I don't think that's right. I mean, if one of us was sitting in a courtroom and only the opposition, or the prosecution as they call it, gave all the evidence against you and gave all the testimonials, and the defense had nothing, no say at all, you would consider that very unfair, right? You would not want that jury judging you. That's what was happening on that video and in the comments. One comment really stood out for me, and that comment, the person said, you creating drama. When you do these things, when you make videos like these, you are creating more drama. You are claiming that you don't want to give life to the drama, and there is a nice fancy catchphrase for that. But when you do this, you're actually creating drama. So, and the person said that they wanted no more part of it. And I thought that they had a very, very valid point at the time. Very, very valid point. Alright, so my phone does this thing where it cuts off after about a half hour. I'm going to pause my phone and come back in 5 seconds and continue.